Have you ever met someone who feels like two people in one? One moment, they're laughing, connecting, lighting up every room they enter. The next moment, they disappear into their own mind. Quiet, distant, almost unreachable. And just when you think you understand them, they change. That's not your imagination, that's Gemini. But what if I told you everything you know about Gemini is wrong? Most people think Gemini is just a playful, talkative sign, fun, friendly, sometimes a little scattered. But the truth is, Gemini is one of the most misunderstood personalities in the entire zodiac. Behind their charming smile is a mind more complex than you could ever imagine, a heart that fears being seen, and a soul that's constantly searching for balance. Why do people envy Gemini? Why do they attract, confuse, and inspire everyone around them? In this video, we're not just talking about astrology. We're diving deep into psychology, human emotion, and the hidden truths that drive Gemini's actions. And trust me, once you understand their dual nature, you'll never look at a Gemini the same way again. So, if you're ready to explore the mind and heart of the most fascinating zodiac sign, stay with me. And hey, if you love learning about astrology, psychology, and personal growth, don't forget to hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear these insights. Let's begin. Have you ever looked at someone and wondered, what's really going on in their mind? They're smiling, talking, laughing. They seem open, warm, connected, but somehow you still feel like they're holding something back, like there's a door inside them that no one is allowed to open. That's the life of a Gemini. On the outside, they're social, charming, full of energy. People love being around them. Conversations with them flow effortlessly. They can debate, share stories, make you laugh, and make you think all at once. But inside, Gemini is living in two worlds at the same time. One side is logical, strategic, calm. The other side is emotional, unpredictable, searching for meaning. And every day, every moment, they're switching between the two. Not because they want to, but because it's who they are. Think about someone you know who's a Gemini. Maybe they're always planning something new. Maybe one day they're passionate about a project, and the next, they've moved on to something else. Maybe you felt that strange moment where their eyes drift off during a conversation, like they're somewhere else entirely. That's not distraction. That's the weight of their dual mind pulling them inward. And here's the secret. They're not running from you. They're running from themselves. Gemini's adaptability looks like a superpower. They can change plans easily. They can adjust to any group of people. They can shift from one idea to the next without hesitation. But in reality, adaptability is their emotional armor. It's how they protect their inner world. When life feels overwhelming, they switch paths. When someone gets too close, they change the subject. When an emotion feels too heavy, they analyze it instead of feeling it. Have you ever noticed how Geminis ask endless questions? They want to know everything about you, what you think, what you believe, how you see the world. But here's something most people miss. Those questions aren't just curiosity, they're a defense mechanism. By focusing on your story, they can avoid confronting their own. It's easier to live in your mind than in your heart. Gemini figured that out long ago. Their quest for knowledge, for stimulation, for new experiences, it's not just excitement, it's safety. Every book they read, every debate they engage in, every new place they explore, is a wall they're building around the parts of themselves they're not ready to face. Think about it. When was the last time a Gemini truly opened up to you? Not surface-level feelings, not storytelling, but deep, raw vulnerability. It's rare, not because they don't feel, but because they feel too much. And showing that depth feels like surrendering control. But here's the paradox. They crave connection. They want someone who understands them, someone who sees both sides of their mind and loves them anyway. But at the same time, letting someone that close feels terrifying. So, they keep dancing between showing up and pulling away. And that's why being around Gemini can feel like chasing sunlight. You think you've caught it, only to see it slip through your fingers. Their unpredictability isn't chaos, it's protection. They need you to understand that. When a Gemini pulls back after opening up, don't take it personally. It's not rejection, it's retreat. They're recalibrating, rebuilding their walls, trying to figure out if you're safe enough to let back in. If you're close to a Gemini, give them space when they retreat. Don't chase them. Let them know you're there, quietly, patiently, without pressure. When they're ready, they'll come back. And when they do, they'll appreciate you more than you realize. And if you're a Gemini yourself, ask yourself this: who do you trust enough to let see your real emotions? Who makes you feel safe enough to stop adapting and just be? If no one comes to mind, maybe it's time to trust yourself first, because beneath all that logic, all that quick thinking, all that energy, your heart is still there, and it deserves to be heard. So, next time you see a Gemini smiling in the crowd, remember, behind that smile is a mind that's constantly shifting, and a heart that's quietly longing for understanding. Be patient, be kind, and if you're lucky enough to be let in, cherish it. Because knowing a Gemini deeply is like finding the missing piece of a puzzle you didn't know you were building. Have you ever wondered why a Gemini always seems to keep their distance? You might feel close to them, yet there's always a part of them that feels untouchable. That's not by accident. That's a choice. You see, deep inside, Gemini carries a fear that few people recognize. The fear of being trapped in expectations, trapped in someone else's version of love, trapped in a role they didn't choose. That's why Gemini protects their freedom with everything they have. Their independence isn't just a lifestyle, it's their oxygen. Without it, they suffocate. And that's why they often build invisible walls around their personal space. You'll notice it if you're paying attention. They'll hesitate to share their private thoughts, their routines, even their plans for the day. It's not that they're hiding something dark, they're simply guarding the parts of themselves that feel most real. Their space, their time, their privacy are their last safe places. So, if you care about a Gemini, respect their boundaries. Give them space when they ask for it. Not because they're pushing you away, but because they're letting themselves breathe. And if you're a Gemini, remind yourself that protecting your independence is valid, but intimacy doesn't mean losing yourself. You can let someone in without giving up who you are. Now, let's talk about something that confuses almost everyone around Gemini: their ability to switch from charming to silent, from talkative to distant, from being the life of the party to the person standing quietly in the corner. People often see this as inconsistency, but for Gemini, it's just survival. Their moods don't follow logic. They flow like water, constantly shifting. And surprisingly, that's their strength. Where others fear change, Gemini embraces it. They don't see life as a straight path. They see it as an ocean of possibilities. Routines make them feel trapped. Repetition makes them restless. That's why they constantly seek new experiences, a new idea, a new hobby, a new place to visit. It's not about escaping life, it's about keeping life alive. If you've ever dated a Gemini, you know this. Planning something in advance, good luck. They'll change the plan halfway through and somehow make it even better. That's not flakiness. That's their inner compass, pushing them toward what feels most alive in the moment. And in relationships, that means Gemini needs a partner who can keep up. Someone who understands that change isn't danger, it's growth. So, here's a little advice. If you're with a Gemini, don't fight their need for change. Dance with it. Be curious. Suggest something new. Surprise them. And if you're a Gemini listening to this, remember that not everyone understands your rhythm. Teach them. Let them know that your love for change isn't about leaving them behind. It's about inviting them to grow alongside you. Now, There's something else you need to know about Gemini, something most people get wrong. People think they're open books. After all, they're so social, right? Always talking, always sharing. But here's the hidden truth. Gemini doesn't share everything, not even close. They choose carefully what parts of their lives and their hearts they show to others. Privacy isn't a preference, it's a boundary. It's how they protect the core of who they are, and they're good at it. They can be the most engaging person in the room and still keep their deepest struggles hidden. Ever wondered why a Gemini never lets you check their phone? Or why they suddenly vanish without explaining where they've been? It's not because they're being secretive in the way you think. It's because they need something that's just theirs. A part of life that isn't shared, not even with the people they love. And that's where understanding becomes so important. If you're in a relationship with a Gemini, or you're close to one, never take their privacy as rejection. Respect it, trust it, because when they see that you honor their need for space, they'll open up more naturally over time. Trust isn't something you demand from a Gemini, it's something you quietly earn. Now, let's talk about what might be Gemini's greatest gift. Their ability to connect with anyone, anywhere, at any time. Despite all their inner complexity, Gemini is a master communicator. They can talk to strangers like they're old friends. They can find common ground in any conversation. They're not just good with words, they're good with people. What makes this even more fascinating is that their moods don't get in the way. Even when they're feeling low, they can still connect. Their energy might be different, softer, quieter, but their ability to adapt to the emotional tone of the moment stays the same. They can be the loudest voice in the crowd or the quietest listener in the room. And either way, people gravitate toward them. This is something we can all learn from. You don't need to always be in a good mood to show up for others. Gemini teaches us that emotional flexibility is a strength. Being social doesn't mean being fake. It means adjusting your presence while staying true to yourself. So, if you're not a Gemini, try this. Next time you're feeling off, instead of withdrawing, try connecting softly. Listen, share something small. Let the conversation flow naturally, like a Gemini does. And if you are a Gemini, don't underestimate the power of your presence. Your words heal more than you know. Your ability to make people feel seen is a gift. Use it. But remember to protect your energy too. Not every conversation needs your full emotional investment. Balance giving with guarding. As we move deeper into this journey, you're about to discover the final 3 insights. And I promise, they're the most controversial, the most personal, and perhaps the most life-changing truths about Gemini. Stay with me. The real revelations are still ahead. Have you ever seen someone get angry and yet still somehow stay in control? It's strange, isn't it? Watching someone explode in frustration, but instead of lashing out wildly, every word, every reaction feels precise, almost calculated. That's Gemini. You see, Gemini doesn't get angry often. They're usually calm, logical, and easygoing. But when they do get angry, it's unforgettable. And it's not because they lose control. It's because in that rare moment, when their anger surfaces, the mask drops. And people finally see the depth of feeling they've been hiding. That's why their anger hits harder than expected. It's raw, it's real, and people around them feel it like a shockwave. But here's what most people don't understand. A Gemini's anger is not about small annoyances. They don't get upset over every little thing. Their frustration builds silently, internally, often for weeks, months, or even years. And then, in one moment, something cracks, and all the emotions they've been storing come flooding out. Controlled, yes, but impossible to ignore. If you're close to a Gemini, pay attention to the quiet moments. When they stop talking about something, when they brush issues aside too quickly, that's not peace. That's pressure building inside. And when it finally explodes, It might be too late to fix what's broken. If you're a Gemini, ask yourself, are you bottling things up again? Are you avoiding difficult conversations because they feel uncomfortable? Remember this, sharing frustration doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. You don't have to wait until anger overwhelms you to speak your truth. Now, let's look at what happens after conflict. Most people, when they fight, follow a pattern: anger, cooling down, apology, reconnection. Simple, right? Not with Gemini. Reconciliation with Gemini is a mystery even to themselves. Sometimes, after a disagreement, they'll come back quickly, acting as if nothing happened. Other times, they'll disappear. Days, weeks, no explanation, just silence. Why? Because Gemini doesn't handle emotional repair like others do. Their mind moves too fast, their emotions shift too suddenly. They can't predict their own reactions, and neither can you. When hurt, Gemini retreats inward. They analyze. They replay conversations in their mind. They overthink. Not because they're punishing you, but because they're questioning everything, including themselves. That's why reconciliation with a Gemini feels unpredictable. It's not about the argument itself, it's about how they processed it internally. Did they feel safe during the conflict? Did they feel heard? Or did the argument confirm their fear that getting close leads to pain? If you're waiting for a Gemini to return after a fight, don't chase. Let them process. Give them time. They're not ignoring you to hurt you, they're searching for their emotional balance. And if you're a Gemini, remember this: silence may feel safe, but it isolates you. Let people know what you need. Say, I need time, but I'll come back. Those simple words can save your relationships. Let's move on to something surprising. Something that might change how you see Gemini partners forever. Have you noticed that jealousy doesn't seem to exist for them? Especially Gemini husbands, Gemini boyfriends. While other signs might feel possessive, needing constant reassurance, Gemini operates differently. They don't ask where you've been. They don't check your phone. They don't obsess over who you're talking to. And that's not because they don't care. It's because their idea of love is built on freedom. A Gemini doesn't want to own you. They want to explore life beside you. They believe trust isn't something you prove every day. It's something you offer until someone breaks it. And as long as you're honest, they won't question your loyalty. That's why their relationships feel light, easy, even liberating. But here's the catch: their lack of jealousy can confuse their partners. People start wondering, do they care? Why don't they ask? Why aren't they afraid of losing me? And the answer is simple: they trust you until you give them a reason not to. If you're with a Gemini, understand this: their silence isn't indifference, it's respect. If you value that, don't abuse it. Communicate. Reassure them even if they don't ask. They won't demand affection, but they need it all the same. And if you're a Gemini, remember that not everyone interprets freedom the way you do. Some people need words of reassurance even when you think it's obvious. So say it, tell them you care, let them know they matter, because not everyone can read between the lines the way you do. Now, let's talk about something more sensual, something most people never realize until they experience it. Gemini's kisses, their touch, their presence. It's addictive, but not for the reason you think. It's not just physical. It's energetic, emotional, mental. When a Gemini kisses you, they're not rushing. They're creating an experience, a memory. They flirt with your mind before they ever touch your lips. And when the moment finally happens, it feels like the whole world disappears. It's not about the kiss itself. It's about how they make you feel wanted, chosen, seen. And that's why people remember it. Whether it's a casual brush of the hand, a playful tease, or a slow, deliberate kiss, Gemini turns romance into an atmosphere. You don't just feel kissed, you feel understood, desired. And that, my friend, stays with you long after they walk away. So, if you're lucky enough to share those moments with a Gemini, slow down, be present, let them lead, but also, let yourself melt into the experience. It's rare, and it's real. And if you're a Gemini, don't underestimate how powerful your energy island. Your ability to create intimacy isn't just a gift to others. It's a reminder that even in your whirlwind mind, you can still be fully present in the moment. Because sometimes, that's all love really needs. So, what does all of this reveal about Gemini? That behind every smile, every conversation, every unpredictable change, there's a heart craving freedom, yet quietly longing for connection. A mind searching for understanding, while protecting itself with walls of logic and change. But we're not done yet, because the final 3 truths I'm about to share with you might challenge everything you believe about Gemini. These are the deepest, most controversial, and perhaps the most human secrets of this sign. Stay with me, the real revelations are just ahead. Have you ever noticed how a Gemini can hold a conversation for hours without ever getting bored? It's like time stops when they find someone who can match their mind. Their energy shifts, their eyes light up, and suddenly, nothing else matters. That's because, for Gemini, conversation isn't just small talk, it's nourishment, it's connection, it's their favorite way to feel alive. When they're deep in dialogue, they forget the world outside, they forget the clock ticking, they forget responsibilities waiting. All that exists is the person sitting across from them, and the ideas flowing between them. This isn't about talking for the sake of talking, it's about exploration. Gemini uses words the way an artist uses color, to paint new realities, to understand new perspectives, to feel connected in a way that feels real. If you've ever sat with a Gemini late at night, sharing stories, ideas, fears, you'll know exactly what I mean. The conversation moves like water, from one topic to the next, from philosophy to childhood memories, from future plans to secret regrets. And they listen too, deeply, fully, because understanding you means understanding life itself. But here's the thing. Not everyone can handle that depth. Many people find it overwhelming, or they misinterpret it as flirtation, when in truth, it's simply how Gemini connects. They're not just looking for words, they're searching for minds, souls. So if you're lucky enough to share these moments with a Gemini, stay present, listen back, let yourself dive in. That's where real connection lives. And if you are a Gemini, remember this is your power. Your ability to make someone feel heard is rare. It's healing. But don't lose yourself in every conversation. Keep some energy for yourself. Not every listener deserves your whole story. Now let's talk about routine, or rather, Gemini's resistance to it. Have you ever seen a Gemini struggle to stick to a schedule, to repeat the same activities every day? It's not laziness. It's not disorganization, it's survival. Gemini craves variety like air. Repetition feels like a cage to them. They need change. They need novelty. They need the excitement of something new on the horizon. This is why many Gemini women, especially, are misunderstood in relationships. People think they're unstable, hard to please, but that's not the truth. They're simply built to evolve. Their souls are wired for movement. Predictability suffocates them. They don't resist routine to create chaos. They resist it because too much sameness drains their life force. Imagine being with someone who wants every day to be a new chapter, new experiences, new conversations, new dreams. That's a Gemini. And if you try to confine them to a box, they'll outgrow it faster than you can imagine. So if you love a Gemini, let them change, let them evolve. Let them wake up one morning with a new dream, and support them as they chase it. It's not rejection, it's just who they are. And to the Geminis listening, be honest about this need. Don't apologize for it, but explain it to the people who care about you. Teach them that your love isn't unstable, it's adventurous. And you need a partner who doesn't fear the unknown. Now, something even more personal. Gemini's love for independence and privacy isn't just a personality trait. It's a deep emotional boundary, one that protects them from feeling trapped, from feeling exposed, from losing their identity in someone else's expectations. Many people misunderstand this. They think a Gemini pulling away means they're hiding something. But the truth is, privacy is how Gemini stays whole. Their private time, their solitude, their secrets are their way of reconnecting with themselves. Think about it. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt your freedom shrinking, your voice getting quieter, your choices being questioned? That's the fear every Gemini carries. Losing themselves in someone else's world. That's why they guard their space. That's why they don't share everything, not out of secrecy, but out of self-preservation. So if you're close to a Gemini, understand this. Give them breathing room. Respect their private rituals. Don't demand access to every corner of their life. When they feel safe, they'll invite you in, on their terms. And that invitation will mean more than any forced confession ever could. And Gemini, remember to tell the people you love why you need that space. People can't read your mind. Help them understand that solitude isn't distance, it's how you come back to them stronger. Finally, let's talk about their gift of communication. You might think Gemini is all about words. And yes, they love to talk. But what most people don't realize is how skilled they are at adjusting their communication to every situation. Gemini can be the loudest voice at the party, and the quiet, thoughtful listener one-on-one. They read the room, they shift their energy, they meet people where they are, not because they're fake, but because they're empathic in their own unique way. This is their social genius. They can connect with anyone, anywhere, anytime. But that doesn't mean it's easy for them. Behind every conversation is a mind working overtime, balancing moods, managing energy, deciding how much of themselves to share. So, if you've ever felt like a Gemini lights up a conversation, know it's a gift, but also an effort. Appreciate that. And Gemini, don't feel guilty for needing silence after socializing. You're allowed to recharge. Your ability to connect doesn't mean you owe your energy to everyone. Let your conversations be a choice, not an obligation. And remember, not every connection needs to go deep. Choose where your words go. Choose who receives your energy. Because not everyone deserves access to your mind or your heart. Now, you might be wondering, what's next? What more could there be to learn about Gemini? Well, in the next part of this journey, we'll explore the final 3 truths. And they're the ones most people never dare to say out loud. The fears Gemini hides, the struggles behind their smiles, and the reason they fear being truly loved. Stay with me, because what comes next may change the way you see Gemini forever. Have you ever wondered why a Gemini always seems to wear different faces? Why they can shift from one personality to another like changing masks? People often call them two-faced, but that's not the truth. That's not who they are. What you're seeing is their way of surviving in a world that demands them to fit into roles they never chose. Gemini adapts because they have to. Their mind is like a mirror, constantly reflecting the environment around them. When they're at work, they speak the language of efficiency and reason. When they're with friends, they become the entertainer. In love, they shift into a romantic, a dreamer, a mystery. And yet, deep inside, they're always searching for who they really are. They wear different faces not to deceive, but to connect. They adjust themselves to meet people where they are, to protect the softer, quieter parts of themselves. This adaptability is their shield, but it's also their loneliness. Because after playing so many roles, who is left when the curtain falls? If you're close to a Gemini, remember this. When they shift, when they seem different around different people, it's not because they're hiding from you. It's because they're trying to survive, trying to feel safe. Try asking them one simple question. Who are you when no one's watching? That might be the most honest conversation you'll ever have. And if you're a Gemini, ask yourself that same question. Who are you when you're alone? Who are you without the roles, without the faces, without the expectations? Maybe it's time to start showing that person a little more often, not for them, but for yourself. Now, let's reach the final truth, one that most people never see. The reason Gemini searches for someone who challenges their mind, not just in conversations, but in love. Gemini's curiosity isn't just intellectual, it's emotional. They don't crave a perfect partner. They crave a partner who keeps them thinking, who questions them, who challenges their beliefs, who grows alongside them. For Gemini, shallow connections feel empty. They want someone who can dance with their mind and sit with their silence. Someone who doesn't just love their words, but understands their pauses. But here's the paradox. Even when they find someone who understands them, Gemini hesitates. They pull back, because deep down, true connection terrifies them. It means being seen, completely, no masks, no escape routes. And that vulnerability is their greatest fear. If you're loving a Gemini, know this. They will push you away, sometimes when you're getting closest. Not because they don't care, but because being loved feels dangerous. Be patient, be steady. Don't chase, don't pull. Just be there, quietly, gently, without expectations. And if you're a Gemini, remember, it's okay to let someone see the real you. Not everyone will hurt you. Not everyone will leave. The right people will choose to stay, even when you drop every mask. But you have to give them the chance. So, here we are, after all these layers, all these contradictions, all these masks and silences and restless thoughts. What is Gemini really searching for? Freedom and connection, adventure and home, independence and love. A way to be fully themselves without losing anyone along the way. And maybe, now, you understand them a little better. Or maybe you recognize a part of yourself in their story. Either way, take a deep breath, because understanding someone's heart always begins with understanding their fears. If you've seen yourself in this video, or if someone you love feels like the Gemini I've described, don't keep this to yourself. Share it. Let them hear these words. And if you're ready to explore more stories like this, about the mind, about emotions, about the secret parts of who we are, subscribe to the channel, because this journey isn't over. There's so much more waiting for you in the next videos. Until then, be kind to yourself. And remember, the people who seem the hardest to understand are usually the ones who need understanding the most.